Hey, my name's Amy and welcome to Hooked on Stories. So I've been crocheting for about a year now and I've made quite a few things. Some of them cozy, some of them not so much. For this week's video, I thought that I would rank a bunch of the things that I've been able to crochet over this past year and basically rank them on a scale of coziness versus my crochet execution of the idea. If you can do me a favor and you really like the content that I'm producing, then please like and subscribe to this channel.
So, as you can see, I've started bringing up some of the crochet items that I've made in the last year, and soon we'll start ranking them. This is only a small pile that's behind me at the moment, including this hat, which I think is kind of giving me Jamiroquai vibes. He's the guy that sings Canned Heat, if anyone knows the reference. And yes, I did get a haircut. But yeah, I'm going to be looking forward to going through some of these projects with you guys, and let's get ranking.
My first crochet project was a beanie, and so I was making a lot of beanies early on and a lot of different hats as well that I ended up giving away. And this beanie stands out to me because it's a beanie where I was able to learn how to create that ribbed effect by just crocheting from the back loop only. The other hat that I've got here is a bucket hat that I made from plushie yarn, which was the first time that I was using plushie yarn. And I learned a lot from this because I was able to start understanding how to do increases to create that bucket hat shape. Some of the finishing on this was not as clean as I wanted because I was still trying to learn.
I got into crocheting roses and flowers for a bit, but the best, but also not very cozy because this is wire.
Here are two little cactus plants that I made. I really like this one. It's super cute with the little arms. It looks like it's saying hey. And I also like this one because of just like the shape and how it turned out, because I ended up using all these circles to kind of connect it together to give it this cool effect, and the little flower on top. These two are pretty cozy, but I also designed them to be like a pin cushion, and so for that reason I think I have to deduct some points. When I first started crocheting, I saw a balloon dog pattern and immediately I was like, oh my god, if I learn how to crochet, this is what I want to make. Like, this is one of the things that I would love to make because it's so cool. I love that it's kind of riffing on firstly the balloon, but also like the Jeff Koons balloon dogs as well. And so I was pretty happy with how this turned out. I think I might have put too much room between the connecting parts because I was really worried that I wouldn't be able to assemble it, and it still sits really well as long as no one knocks it over. You guys know how I feel about the metallic faux leather yarn that I used. It turned out great, but I mean, it's not cozy. This is not cozy.
The set of my crochet sushi that I've made, I think pretty cute, pretty cozy. Especially love this prawn one. Tuna. Crochet stars that I made, they're super plump and really cute. I made these in a bunch of colorways, especially black and white for my baby niece last year, and I really enjoyed the colors of this kind of yarn as well.
Oh my gosh, this is like a still life of crochet things.
You can tell that I got a bit better at some of the joining when I'm crocheting in the round, but an orange, carrot, oh no, the broccoli was, look, the broccoli's a little bit experimental. I made a lot of little blueberries. They're obviously not to scale because these blueberries are very big. Beetroot, cabbage, or I suppose this is probably cauliflower. Tomato, which I was pretty chuffed with. It's gotten a bit squished in the box. An apple. My favorite was this pear of corn that I made. Super happy with this because it was the first time that I did bobble stitch and it turned out, or maybe popcorn stitch is more accurate, but yeah, the bobble stitch, it just turned out so much better than I thought. That I made a whole video dedicated to the corn because I was just like, this is amazing. Like, this is the coolest thing I've made so far. On to other foods that I made, this time not raw groceries and fruit and veg, but actual junk food. So made this taco, and this is probably my favorite in terms of just how well it turned out. This is my cheeseburger, and so that's the underside. I did 2 pickles, slices of tomato, lettuce, cheese, the patty, and the underside.
Okay, even more kind of baked goods, I guess. So I made fairy bread. These are cozy, but they're really only 2 slices of fairy bread. I made pies, which I did document on this channel. They're pretty cute. I would say this is also relatively cozy, and also because the food is a cozy food, so it's kind of up there. In Australia, we have sausage sizzles that are really popular, so this one's really up there in terms of coziness, just for its iconicness as well. And speaking of the cherry pie from earlier, I forgot, but I actually did crochet some cherries. With even more crochet food, I made these cookies. They're super cute. They're also really cozy as well, I think, and I hope my niece or my friend's kids will get to play with them by setting up a little fake shop or something like that with them. Even more food related things. This was my Iced Vovo tote. It is super cozy. I think it's probably the coziest tote that I own. Here are 2 patterns that I actually tested from the Wearables book that I purchased. The little toadstool house, which is super cute, and also this little bird that I tried out as well. I didn't have the safety eyes, so I just kind of decided to use yarn and do it myself. So these ones were early projects, and I hadn't really ever followed that many patterns before, and so these were some of the first things that I made following patterns, and they turned out much better than I thought they would, and so it gave me a bit more confidence to be like, hey, maybe I should actually try reading more patterns, like maybe I'm not too bad at it. I made Tetris pieces. So these are probably the coziest, softest Tetris pieces that you will encounter. This one looks a bit suspicious, but I wanted to create something that was really fluffy but blocky and riffed on the whole idea of like with the balloon dog stuff. So this is where that came in, this idea. This took so long, and the execution was not as clean as I wanted, because the minute I stuffed it, it started bulging and looking more puffy than the angular kind of like edges that I really wanted. But I'm still pretty happy with the project, considering that this was early on in my crocheting career, and the execution of having to crochet all these little squares out and having that, you know, kind of work together to become these Tetris pieces was a really good challenge for me. And I think it also taught me how to like probably do cleaner edges. But there are 2 things that I have crocheted that perhaps max out the level of coziness, and these are projects that I have recently done, and they're both egg themed. I didn't plan it, it just turned out that way. Turns out I'm probably more obsessed with eggs than I thought. But here is the giant plushie tamago. Yes, it is as soft as you think it is. Yes, it is as huggable and bouncy as it looks. So this one is probably the winner, but runner-up is the giant fried egg that I made, that is also just as soft and just as fun as well to create. I think these 2 are probably going to out cozy all of the other things that I've made, but most of it is cozy because it's yarn related. But these 2 I think I executed really well. I'm actually pretty happy with how they turned out. And I also appreciate all of the other stuff that I've done, because without doing those projects and crocheting all of this food stuff, I wouldn't have been able to get to the confidence of creating something this big and making something look as neat as I wanted it to look. So yeah,